All right, guys, how's it going? How's everybody doing this morning? I'm gonna have to fire Nate because he put country on.
I didn't put.
Nick doesn't like country.
Okay, so we're gonna get into this, okay? Because this reminds me of an old radio story that I had. So when I first started working, at a radio station, it was in my hometown, and it's a country radio station. So I didn't love that, but it gave me a good experience. And so there's a
Your mom.
there's a tournament. You're such an asshole. There's a tournament that they do every year called Take a Kid Fishing, and so like it's an event, so I'll be back at the radio station and I'll be running the board and play. So it's like a 40-year-old thing. Anyway.
Oh God.
So
How young are the kids then if they're 40 years old?
Jesus Christ. So I would be playing music.
Today is about sex, guys.
Flag, ban, insta ban. So anyway, I would be back at the station running the board.
Kid, you want to put my worm on?
Stop. And so,
okay, I'm done.
So I would be like manning the music, and so like there would be times when, because there would be live people there, from the station covering it, and so I would put them on the air, like turn them back down and play music. So kind of like what we're doing here, almost exactly the same thing. And so there was.
You okay?
I'm sorry, Lycan got me in the chat. He said it was about bukkake last time. Now it's playing with worms. Okay. Anyway,
that's why we don't pay attention to chat.
I know. I'm sorry. He got me. So anyway, they were like, "Hey, for the next song, play Clear Blue Sky." Or something like that. And I'm like, I don't know country music. Who sings that? And they said, and I was like, okay. And so I went to like look for it in the library to play it. And I typed in blue, and the only thing that came up was Baby Blue. And I was like, well, that'll be good enough. It's blue. I shit you not. This is my exact thought process. And so like they're like, all right, we're going to go to a music break. I turned them down, and then I turned the music up, and all you hear is Baby Blue. Like it's this really, really soft, like slow country song. And think about, we're trying to play summer country music because we're at the lake fishing. Right. And and my boss, comes on the radio. He was like, "Oh damn, who turned this shit on?" I was like, "Make me want to go dance with myself over here." real old country guy. But anyway, that reminded me a lot of that. That one time that I thought that sad country was the same thing.
It's not.
No, it's not.
Isn't all country sad country?
Well,
I mean, come on. Save a horse, ride a cowboy. That's a cry for help.
It's an existential crisis going on there.
Right? Oh, man. So speaking of sex, we're going to get into it.
Speaking of bukkake.
Speaking of getting into it.
Okay, we're not going to start that like this. We're just not going to do it. It's not going to happen.
So, I don't want to. We're not going to go into super huge details. So if anybody's worried about is this going to be another bukkake incident? No, we're not going to get into super details or whatever, because we have to assume that I basically told him during the break, it's like, let's get into it because we got into religion or whatever. But if our wives happened across it, or if they were curious and whatever, they wouldn't want to divorce us after all the things we've divulged.
Yeah,
so
true. That's a good point.
So I came up with an interesting thing. What, obvious. I don't want to get into religion again, but it's like, man, wife, or whatever, that that's really drilled into you, which is one of the reasons I hated religion or whatever. But anyways, but who was the girl that made you go, oh yeah, I do like girls. Yeah, I definitely like girls. I'm definitely a girl, man, girl. You know what I'm trying to say. Who was that one girl that you're like, oh yeah, oh wow, she's pretty, I like her.
I'm gonna say, while someone's knocking at my door, hello.
I'm gonna say my wife, of course. Well, I guess I'll start then. I think
that was my wife.
wife.
She came to the screen.
I think the number one, or the first girl that really gave it. God, why,
What?
why am I going
Jesus,
there?
man, where are we going with this?
No, that's not what I meant. But no, I think the first girl like I had a crush on was Jessica Alba actually,
Okay.
and it was her very first series. And any other day I'd be able to recall it, but I'm having a hard time recalling it right now.
Well, I was gonna say Alias, and I was like, no, that's Jennifer Garner.
What's wrong with Jennifer Garner? You have a
Nothing.
problem
No,
with
no,
fit women?
no, not at all. Jennifer Garner's beautiful. Like
Right.
she's. Oh God, she's 50
Dark
now?
Angel, thank you,
Okay.
Lycan. Thank you.
Okay. Coming in clutch. Oh yes. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay.
Dark
I can see
Angel,
that.
you
Yeah.
remember that
I
show?
remember Dark
It was
Angel.
Alias before Alias was Alias.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was the first. She was my first like, oh, I really like this girl or whatever, and like, um, at least as far as I can remember, I
Mhm.
think I've always liked girls. I always like, poked girls, and but I think that was the first time like, oh yeah, I like girls.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you the answer that my parents have told literally every single person in my
Oh
life.
God, it's one of those stories.
Shania Twain.
Ooh,
Shania Twain.
Shania
And
Twain.
growing up, I guess I didn't think about Shania Twain anymore, but I remember that, and they recall it very well. They had a cover, or there was a picture of Shania Twain. I think that was from some sort of like
Was she on the beach
lingerie.
in her
She was some,
bikini?
yeah, it was some kind of bikini or something that was like a bra, and I would carry that. I was like 3 years old. I would carry that thing around with me every fucking where.
She's like, this girl's pretty. I'll be right back, mama.
Oh,
Man, I
so
feel
that
like
was
a
probably
woman.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I think that was probably the first where I was like, oh, I like girls. Like,
Yeah. So then, we can do first name only, but who was your first?
um,
Was it like high school backseat kind of thing, or did you actually like find a bed?
so I don't know how I want to go with names. We can do initials,
we,
maybe.
we, yeah, go initials, whatever you
Okay,
feel the most
okay.
comfortable with.
First initial is S.
Mm, Sam,
No.
Samantha, um,
Let me.
Serenity.
Was it any one of those names with a Lynn after it?
Right? They'll go all freaky.
uh, no. So actually, looking back on it now, like in the height of like Me Too in 2020, I could easily say that she took advantage of me, but
Ooh,
at the
well,
same
at
time,
least it's not the other way around, because God forbid somebody brings this up 10 years from now and tries to
right,
meet you.
right, yeah, yeah. It tries to be, yeah. So it was. I mean, I was 15. Here's the thing. I remember whenever I was in 8th grade, and all my friends were like, I think we were like 13 and stuff like that. And like majority of them had lost their virginity. And I was like, this might have been like the more conservative church part of me around this time period. Cause
Mhm.
that feels weird. That feels wrong. Like I'm going to wait till I'm at least like 15 to lose my virginity. And I lost my virginity at 15. But, I can remember, my first like full on sexual activity. She had a really big house and she had a lot of land, and so like there was one place that was like kind of this creek area, and she like brought up like we were gonna do like a picnic, and then long story short, I got more than a picnic out of it. And then like later on, and here's what's so interesting, and I don't know what this says about my parents, but I they let me stay the night at her house. Like this is actually for like a couple day thing, like, and she lived about 30-45 minutes away. So like they knew. I felt like they knew. And I'm gonna ask my mom at some point, like in the next few days, like, hey, why the fuck? Why? But anyway, so her mom like didn't really pay attention to us. Like she was a little bit older.
The 90s.
I think she was like I think she was like 16 maybe. I don't know. She's only either a few months or a year older than me. I'm not really sure. But so later that night is when we actually had sex, and I was like, first time, but wasn't great. and then we did it again, and then through yeah, actually I stayed the weekend with her because throughout that weekend, in that weekend, several different places like shower and like and so it
Yeah.
it was that's one of those memories where you think back and you go how what caused that to happen, like I don't
So
really
like, did you
know.
think of her that way before you guys were gonna do it?
um Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really like at that point in where I was, like I wasn't really thinking sexually first.
Mhm.
You know, so I saw that something could happen between us and we would like make out and stuff like that. So I mean it was a natural progression. But
Gotcha.
like it was after that, like, you know, losing virginity where I'm like, oh okay, like, oh yeah, okay, so now I see. And it's like, for example, now to my wife, she
Alright.
came home yesterday because I was working, and she was like, hey, I bought some clothes. And she doesn't fit in any of her clothes. She's lost a lot of weight recently, so she went and bought a bunch of shorts that they're not like the baggy athletic shorts. They're
Mm.
like the ones that fit, they're booty shorts that fit to
Oh,
her
they fit.
fit. And yeah, they fit. They 100% fit. And like I saw her, like immediately when she turned around, I was like, "Yes, you bought how many pairs of those? Okay, great. You're only going to wear those." so, so yeah, it was after that happened for sure.
Mm. Um, so my first sexual experience was actually a blowjob uh behind my church.
There you go.
Yeah. It was actually funnily enough, it was also the first girl I'd ever kissed. So like the progression in like she was a dirty girl. Like, and I don't mean that like sexually, obviously we got a blowjob behind a church, so yeah, she's pretty freaky. But no, I meant like dirty as in like she was just kind of not well maintained, and so it was kind of just my
Oh,
first girl or whatever. And um yeah, yeah. So I mean, she was my first kiss, and I was like, oh, that was kind of nice. Yeah, I like that. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Um, and I want to say it was like a couple days after that, you know, she wanted to do that, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like I heard about this stuff, but sure, you know.
I,
I would say luckily it didn't progress after the blowjob because like I don't know if that girl, like if I look back in my days, like I don't know if that girl I wanted to be my first. Because like
yeah.
looking back on it, it was really just I wanted to I think I don't know for sure, but like I think I just wanted to get my first girlfriend out of the way. Because like looking back on it, it's like, God, why did you like that shit? She nasty. Like, oh, like kind of ugly. Yeah, like I said, unkept. Like, no, you know, like if I looked at her nowadays, it would just be like, hi, hi, how are you? Like,
Someone do me a favor, by the way, real quick, and clip out that last minute, please, so we can have that because my face and his reaction was gold. Like and get on that for us, please. I appreciate that. Thank you.
oh my God.
So yeah, that's there's no. You said the not maintained. I knew exactly what you're talking about. That's the absolute worst. And
Right.
I guess we could get into it, kind of segue, and I'll let you go first. What was your worst experience? Either it was a singular one time experience or it was with one person that you're just like, oh no, no. Like,
Oh, oh, oh. So I
I swear to
do
God,
have
if
to
we're.
admit something. So far, as of today, 10:46 a.m., I've only had sex with one woman, and that is my wife because I'm a good Christian boy
Mhm.
and I waited for marriage. Actually, funnily enough, I didn't wait for marriage because I was a Christian. I waited for marriage because I looked at all the people around me having sex. And I was in a point in my life where I didn't have a lot of guy friends. I had a lot of girlfriends. You know what I mean? I was one of those guys
Mhm.
because I'm a more sensitive guy. I can cry. I can,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of people obviously accuse me of like being gay or something like, oh, fag, and like stupid shit like that. But yeah, I just kind of had more girlfriends than guy friends or whatever. And every single one of them told me about the first time they had sex, and every single one regretted it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, up until the point that I met Ashley, my wife, like I had opportunities for sure. Um, and I think up until I met Ashley, I was kind of like the good Christian boy, you know what I mean? And then I met Ashley right around the time of my parents getting divorced.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, like we talked on last episode, that was kind of when I started going away from religion. So it was less about religion at that point than I just heard everybody's stories and how the first time's not good and they regret it. And it wasn't even that they regretted it because of it being short, they regretted it because of the person it was with. It was just some asshole. And it's just like, I don't want my first time to be that way. So it's like I wanted my first time to at least be special. You know what I mean? I like it was such a girly thing, but like I said, I was the sensitive guy who had a lot of girlfriends, you know? So it's just like I want my first time to be
Mm-hmm.
special. I want it to be with somebody that I love and or have been with for a while. And then I got with my wife, Ashley, and it turned to a point where like we were really serious and just sex was never really an option because both of us were totally cool with saving it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
both of us went through, hi babe, yes, we're having the sex talk. Both of us were totally fine with just waiting, you know. And so, and I think both of us had the experience where we had you know, friends who
Mm-hmm.
did it and they just regretted it. So we were both kind of like, you know, let's not do it. And I think there was another part of us that her mother bothered us all the fucking time about whether or not we were having sex. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
we'd go to the fucking store and we'd come back and be like, did you do it? Did you do it?
You know
And
she was a
so
freak then.
there was a part of it.
Because she
There was
asking
a
you into
part.
the store. It's like, Joe, fuck at the store.
So I think there might have been like a part of us that like didn't do it because we wanted to like somehow prove her wrong as well. What? Okay, cool. Jackass. Anyways, yeah, you fucking heard me. Yeah, do it. She showed me her ass right now. What? It's the sex talk. Go ahead, show me your tits. Come on, do it. Do it. Do it. Anyways. Anyways. Where was I? Sex. But yeah, to a certain point, I think we didn't do it because we wanted to somehow like prove her mother wrong. But there was a big part of us that was just like, you know, let's just wait. We're serious enough about each other. We love each other. We don't need. Shut up! We don't need something to valid. Like I'm trying to be nice here, okay? Like this is a nice story. We waited because we loved each other, not because we felt some kind of obligation towards society, you know? And here she is like, ha, whatever. I just didn't want to put my pussy anywhere near you. Anyways, but no, like we waited to marriage. We actually lived with each other for like 6 months. 8 months? Yeah, 8 months. We lived with each other for like 8 months and still didn't do any. Like, we did plenty. Let me tell you what, we took showers together, rubbed all up in each other and stuff, but we never went there, you know? Because it's like, we're right there. Why fuck it up right now? I guess was kind of my mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Like, definitely wanted to, especially now that I had her alone and I could actually sleep in the same bed with her or whatever. But yeah, at that point, it was kind of like, you know, like we're already so close. Why just do it? And then, you know, I mean, by all means, we could have, but I guess maybe we just wanted to prove something to ourselves at that point. Like, I don't know. Because at that point, we were definitely committed.
Mm-hmm.
We were definitely going to get married because I had already proposed. And we were definitely going to spend the rest of our lives with each other. So I don't know necessarily why we didn't do it, other than just we made it a commitment and we wanted to. So yeah, I can't really talk too much about what was my most nastiest girl because I only had one. Although the other day, she was a little sweaty. Just kidding. I won't say like I heard. Yeah.
Well,
she had to come in at this point. God, it's so embarrassing.
everyone. I guess that makes me a whore.
Yes, you are indeed a whore. I am a prude, and I'm totally willing to admit that. But let's get talking more sex because this is so much fun. Um, Where'd we leave off? I was a no good virgin. You're a
Um,
whore.
I'm a whore. Yes. Um, basically, what you.
So I guess answer your own question, because my dirtiest or yuckiest girl would have been that girl I got the blowjob from or whatever. So what's your answer for that question?
So there's a girl in general that my friends, my family, my wife still fuck with me to this day that I messed around with. And it's one of those that it's like, yes, I understand. Was not my proudest moment. Gotta understand. It was in a 2-year drought at that point and was literally being thrown at me. Like throwing it. I'm not exaggerating. It's like constant. So I was like, okay, you know what?
Pussy on the dang dang.
I was like, you know what? Fuck it. And so I did. Um, it was a couple different moments, but one in particular, I had a feeling it was a bad sign the moment she got in my car because it was hot outside. She didn't. She was sitting outside when I picked her up. It was at nighttime.
So she was steaming for you.
Yeah, I asked for my. I actually didn't. I didn't ask for my dinner broiled that night, but that's what I got. Or steamed. Like it's in the chat, moist. Oh, moist. So anyway, no. I was like, okay, whatever. And so we were doing our thing.
You
and
took her out to dinner first?
No, it was just straight pickup, and we, yeah. So no, we didn't go out to dinner or nothing. We weren't wholesome about it at all. So we went to
So was this like a Facebook? You knew each other from college or school or something?
Oh no, this is when I was still in school. Like, so I was still in high school.
Oh god.
Yeah, so this is in my hometown. Like I was at my family house, and so yeah. So no, this was before I went to college. So I pick her up and we go to a parking lot, empty parking lot, and the sex and stuff wasn't bad. I don't really recall it honestly, but she asked me to go down on her, and I was like, yeah, sure, no problem, because that's the thing. I'm gonna share a little moment. I'm a giver, okay. I'm a giver in general. Like that's I would much prefer. And so anyway, I was like, yeah, no problem, whatever. I'm gonna demonstrate for you guys here real quick exactly what she.
Do I need to look at the screen?
Yes, okay. Look at the screen. What she probably saw. Like this was her perspective. So you see my head. So I'm like this. Okay, like all right, I'm gonna go down. I'm not exaggerating. This was me. I went. Oh, okay. All right, we're back. I was like, no, it was like not even a split second. I was like, nope. Like I went down, wafted, was like, nope, we are not. I was like,
oh man.
I was like, I'm not feeling good.
Get out of it. You're just like, I'm just not feeling it.
Well, at that point, I was already close, so it was pretty much like I didn't have much longer. So I was like, okay, but I was like, I just went back to it, so I don't think she really cared or paid attention. So that's probably my worst, and that's gonna be my.
Wait, she asked you to go down on her in the middle?
Yeah.
Usually, you do that to get started.
Well, you can do it in between.
I'm a prude, so I don't.
So I mean, yeah, you can do it. You can do so yeah, you can do it in between. It's basically like you're pacing. Well, you're pacing yourself. It's like, you don't want to get to the point where you're like, okay, I'm just going till we're done. It's like, if you want to pace it out through, it's like you stop and then like, okay. Yeah. So I mean, and does anyone let me know if I'm wrong on that? Because I'm pretty sure that's how sex works.
I mean, I see it plenty in porns or whatever, but still, it's like. I don't know, man.
Yeah, but anyway,
right,
so yeah, it was like, it was right in the middle. So I was like, okay, and so I didn't have that much. So that was my get out of jail free card.
So in that respect, you could blame it on yourself. Maybe your balls are just rank. Okay, can't always blame it on the woman. Okay, stop being such a misogynist pig, and take some responsibility for your dick. Plus, at that point, she had to be pretty wet. I mean,
Nick, I literally took a shower like 45 minutes prior. Okay, so it's not me.
I'm just saying. that you do it beforehand. It's not as slippery down there, so it's not as much sweat. You guys are already going at it in a car.
We had the AC
Give
on.
the girl
I mean,
some credit.
we're not idiots here, okay? So yeah, I mean that would be my worst like experience with a person and experience kind of in general.
Mm-hmm.
I think I I've got some that are kind of funny. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't really know kind of where you want to go with the rest of this.
What's our time frame looking like? Yeah, I guess. God,
I mean, we just came back like what 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago.
came.
Touche.
Touche. Yes, indeed. Um, um, I don't know. I don't know. Where do we want to go? Love it. A couple of nerds talking about logistics of sex. Yes, good one, Danny.
Yes,
Now,
this is the kind of
don't you
content.
usually go
Yeah.
down on?
Don't you usually play with her? So have you? Okay. When it comes to memes, we are so consumed by memes that almost every single one, it's like, oh, that's funny. You're kind of numb to it. I love when you come across one that just tickles you and you just the way you don't expect it. It was a picture someone had shared. Someone put a sticker, like a silver sticker, that said "clit" above the wording on a Ford Taurus. So it said "clitoris."
It took me a second. I'm like, okay, Ford Taurus.
Yeah, I was waiting. I was like, man. Oh man. Speaking of play with her joystick. Oh, like in the chat. Okay, this one. Okay. So, have
Ready?
you ever
Ready
had
for this?
a moment with your wife, where you thought your penis was in danger?
Yes, I have. And I'm like, oh, not like that.
Okay. So this moment wasn't specifically
You're
like I was in
bending
danger.
it.
So this was this was before this was before I met my wife. This one girl, I think all we got to was fellatio, basically, because I don't remember us ever having sex. But so she kind of like hyped herself up as far as like being good. She's like, oh yeah, head game's good, whatever. I was like, okay, well, cool, whatever. So it's like normal perspective. She's like right in the middle. She's coming down, and I'm like, okay. I'm not exaggerating. So okay. This is how am I gonna visualize this? This will be fuck. How am I gonna do this? This is her head. Okay, she's coming straight down like this.
Oh, God.
The moment she goes down, she goes up, goes to go back down again, and I shit you not, goes head side to side. Like, I mean, it's like going back and forth. The visual I got in my head was I was back in the arcade playing fucking Tekken, and I had my hand on the fight stick going back and forth like this. That's exactly what she was doing.
A B A B A B.
Yeah, I was like, I'm.
Is she at least smacking it up against her head or something?
I don't know. I was like, I'm in danger. Like, I was like, oh, this is. Oh.
What's going on?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. Just tell me what you want.
Danny's, yeah, I appreciate that. He said Nate is such a visual man. Yes, I am. I see. That's my thing. Like, my favorite comedy is visual comedy. Like, silent. I feel like I would have really liked silent film, like Charlie Chaplin stuff, if it came out back in the day, because like that shit just amuses me. Like just physical comedy. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't have as many like fun stories, unfortunately, because I'm just such a prude. I mean, going back to what I was talking, just so we can get on me for a while. I'm trying to think if there are any like really funny ones. I mean, what really sucked in the first couple years of our marriage, luckily we started in Twin Falls, which is 50 miles away from where I live right now. We kind of started off in there. It was nice because it was far enough away from our family. We could really just start on our own.
Mm.
So then when we moved back to Boise, pretty much from when we moved to Boise until probably 3 years after, so the first couple years of our marriage, um, we always had like a roommate.
Mm.
First it was my buddy Levi because he was down in his luck and he was getting a divorce with his wife. Um, and then another, and then it was Kevin, my boy Kevin. He's our weekly nerdy news host. I hope you're listening, Kevin. Yeah, I'm outing you right now. Um, and then it was my brother, and that's always a weird experience to try to get at your wife when somebody's in the other room. And that other person's an adult and they understand how things work or whatever. It's not like now when we have kids, which is a whole nother layer of weird. Um, Especially when you have a co-sleeper and the only way you can have sex is, when she falls asleep, and God forbid if she's crying in the middle of it.
And it's at that moment where you're like, that's what we call that move is the you give it a little tappy, little tap tap tap.
Tap, tap, pat her on the back, like, it's okay, honey. Try to do it in rhythm so you don't lose your groove.
Have like one be the bass and one be the snare. It's like,
um, oh my God. Um, I guess one really interesting story that I can talk about is um, when ladies are pregnant, there comes a time where sex is just like a really good idea to them most of the time. And I mean, you being married, you can definitely attest to when you get married, it's like, sex doesn't happen maybe as much as you really want it to.
oh, that's a
So,
100% fact. Like, I'm not even gonna front on that.
right? Like, so she's wanting it. I don't care if she's pregnant. Like, there's a hole and I'm going into it. But uh so luckily it's not that gross. But basically, Zoe Ann had a real problem sleeping on her own for
Mm.
until she was till she was 4 or 5, right in that area. So, um, the new baby's on her way. We got to get her out of that habit. So basically what we did is we did that trick almost like with the dog where you like, okay, let's gradually get them outside.
Mm.
So what we did is we had her mattress and we brought it into the room with us so
Mm.
that she could sleep with, next to us or really whatever. And so then eventually we got her into her own room and now she's always in her own room or whatever. Because there would even be some times where we would be able to put her in her own room, but then halfway through the night she'd come and join us or whatever. So at least during that time and time and space, it was a lot easier to have sex when we could have sex because it's like, okay, she starts there, but then she might just join us later or whatever. Um, but then yeah, there's a couple times she's pregnant, Zoe Ann's on the floor, and we're in the mood. So, but that was weird because she was old enough where it's not like the situation with our co-sleeper where we could just be like, shh, go back to sleep. It's just like, we're wrestling. So luckily she never woke up.
Yeah.
But I'd say that's maybe the weirdest because it's definitely interesting being in the mood with your child in the room. In the same room. Thankfully not in the bed. We never like did something that freaky or whatever, but
Yeah.
in the same room, it's a weird experience, but at the same time when you're both in it, it's like you might as well. Like you don't always have that.
Yeah, did you see in the chat, Danny? He was like, dude, the scramble to finish when you see the baby start to wake up is no joke.
Right. Right. Okay. We're gonna do really really censored stuff here, okay? Um I had a worry, okay, because when Zoe Ann was first born, it's easier with Zoe Ann and Madeline because I have somebody to watch Madeline
Mm.
if I want to, have some alone time and just like relax. just lay in bed and do absolutely nothing else, right, guys? Um, but it was definitely weird when Zoe Ann was weird. When Zoe Ann was weird. When Zoe Ann was young, because I had to go off when she would take a nap, and men have needs, guys. You know it. So I go off and I'm doing my thing, and I swear every time halfway through she would start eh, I got to the point where I was like, am I not gonna be able to come without crying? But that's not even the worst part. The worst part is that's not even the worst part. The worst part is the way we had our bed set up. There's a picture. Um, there's a picture frame of month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, and so I always have to position myself in a way where my phone or something is
Oh
in front of that,
God.
so I'm not looking at my daughter while I'm trying to climb it.
That's the worst thing ever, is when you're like locked into what you're watching on the video and then you realize your surroundings and the thing behind you is it's oh no okay, and so like that I hate, and that's what I think really alleviates and
You have
once
pictures of your mom.
yeah, when it's like the best thing about the VR porn is because it takes it
Oh
away.
God.
But the problem with
Right.
the VR porn is I think it's like it's almost like a survival thing, because it's the same way like whenever I took my like handgun classes, it's like I don't like being in VR and vulnerable. I don't like being vulnerable. So
You don't like not having an exit.
so the only time that I have ever really watched or viewed like with the VR stuff, I've never tried with the PSVR, so I still got to do that. But it's mostly with like the phone VR, like you strap to your face. Um,
Okay.
you don't know what I'm talking about?
No, I know exactly what you.
So
Anyways,
like
go
the
on.
only time I've ever watched it or experienced that was when like my wife was like, "Hey, I'm going away for a weekend." I'm like, "Okay, cool." Lock every single door in the house 3 times, lock all the windows.
Right. Just in case she's like, surprise, I'm home early, and you're just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, like that's she walked in on the other day on me playing Beat Saber, getting into it like just really working out. I would rather her walk into me doing that than walk into me really working out with VR like tits in my face, like oh, but that's weird,
you're
man.
just
Like
like, yeah.
but dude, yeah, it's that's a weird experience, man. Like that's one of those that I can't really I don't find it comfortable. Like it's one of those things I'm not really ready for yet, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I wonder if we're ever gonna get to the point when in Demolition Man, where you just put something on your temple and then you just start having sex with each
Dude,
other
I hope
in
not.
virtual or something.
I hope not.
Or Black Mirror, that one episode. Do you remember that one?
Oh wait, which one are you talking about?
The one
Um
with Falcon. Falcon Punch.
oh,
Oh, is it
kinda. Hold
Anthony
on.
Mackie?
Yeah, it's Anthony
Anthony
Mackie, but I'm
Mackie.
gonna have to look it up.
Anthony Mackie, and then I think he's one of the guys from. Who is he? I think
He's
he's from Black Panther.
his
No,
real
he's not
name's
from Black
Clarence.
My friends call him Clarence. Anyways, no, but they go into the VR world, and Clarence plays as a woman, and they end up fucking. And so then the whole episode is about them getting into a relationship with him, and the episode ends with them coming up with a deal where he's going to the VR world and fuck his best friend
I don't
from
think I actually saw
college.
that one.
Yeah, and then his wife gets to go out on a night on the town. I'm like, just why? Just why? I don't know. That it would be weird. 'Cause, I mean, think about it. It's almost like a glory hole. It's like I'm just gonna pretend this is a girl doing it.
So I'm not what I'm about to say is not gonna by any means say anything as far as like my sex life by any means. Like this, but me and
That's way too much of a setup.
me and my wife, our relationship is so interesting because it's like like when you think about that stereotype of or that like dream everyone says, it's like, oh, be best friends first, like marry your best friend. Like the
Oh,
fact that like we are to that to a T. I mean, if she breathes one way, which I'm not, this is gonna sound weird, but it's just, I'm kind of Sherlocky in that way. If she breathes a certain way, I'm like, I know what's wrong. Like something is wrong, and so we're so kind of simpatico.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so
It's impossible.
we've just within the first few years of our marriage, we'll be married 3 years as of this October, and we've had when we kind of got out on our own, like permanently, we had some struggles. We
Mhm.
really had some struggles, and honestly, you were going back to being married and sex all the time. Intimacy ended up being one of them, where it's like neither of us were in a place where we wanted to, and so, but we've had like conversations with each other that a lot of people I think wouldn't have, because we're just completely open with each other. But when it comes down to
Yeah.
certain things with intimacy, that dynamic that you just described makes sense to me, because there are some people, and there's some people that I know, because a lot of therapy type stuff I actually kind of help with a lot of my friends, even though I'm so depressed. But he anyway, so there are times where, like your partner, they'll have something like, hey, I can't do that for you, whether it's I physically can't, or it's just I for whatever reason can't, but I'm okay. And I've known people like this. Like there's a friend of mine, one of his girlfriends, she didn't like sucking dick, but was okay with another girl doing that because she knew that he liked it. So that's not very common, but more along the lines of,
Interesting.
it's like, hey, I'm not providing you in certain things some of the intimacy that you're needing. So this thing that's fake for the most part, from kind of what you're describing of it being like a VR situation, it's like, it's not necessarily cheating, and it's better for our relationship because you're not being. So I've seen that happen, and I know that is something. So I'm actually gonna have to watch that because that interests me. I completely forgot about a lot of Black Mirror after season 4, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, season 5 itself is only 3 fucking episodes, so I mean, the one with Miley Cyrus is really good, but let's not get on a tangent there, because this episode's about sex. Okay. Dan Easy had a good comment, like, dude, this really cute picture of my dog is looking at me so judgmentally. I know there's like, my wife is definitely one of those that has pictures everywhere or whatever. So yeah, that's always been hashtag struggle for me. It's just, yeah, I agree. This is a weird episode or whatever, but we knew that. Just think, this episode's weird so that when we get into the topic of politics next time, you know,
No, I think he's talking about the Anthony Mackie episode.
what?
That's such a weird episode. I think he's talking about the Black Mirror episode.
Well,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Well, I thought he meant this episode. Well, I was still trying to like do a really good segue, you jiggies. But yeah, when we get into politics next time, this one needed to be so light and fluffy so that when we get into the like triggering moments next week,
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not looking forward to that because politics fucking sucks to talk about.
it really does. It really does. You know what else sucks? That bitch.
Vacuum cleaners.
I don't know. Vacuum cleaners. Have you ever tried that?
Fuck no, dude. But I have done the shampoo. I think every single man has done the shampoo.
What's the shampoo? Like you put your in a shampoo?
No, like you were young, you were in the bathroom, desperate to find something to use in the shower, and so you use shampoo. You never done that before?
Right. Like what I'm asking is, do you put it in?
No,
the
you put
hole
it
of the
in your
shampoo?
hand, like you're putting on lotion on your hand.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah.
Okay,
I
so
just thought you meant like you.
and you're not
like,
supposed
my
to do
penis is
that.
small enough.
No, because you're not supposed. No, it's not that, you fucker. So we're when you put it in your hand and you get it in there and like it burns like a motherfucker, and then you're pissed because you're having a good time and now you're having a bad time.
Was it? Was it for dandruff? Was it like per plus for dandruff?
I don't
That's
know.
why it was burning.
No, I don't know. Every shampoo I've ever had, it does that. I mean, I don't.
Only like dandruff shampoo should be the type that like makes your scalp burn, because it's doing it to like get into
Yeah,
your
but you're
skin or
getting
whatever.
shampoo. You're getting soap in your pee hole, and that sucks. It doesn't feel good.
Oh man. Uh well, at least your dick won't have it's flaky skin.
At
Uh,
least it's got it's a silky smooth scalp.